Hi everyone, I know you're not used to seeing me here on a Saturday, but starting this Saturday and every last Saturday of every month, me, your girl Amanda, will be answering your questions that you have left under my videos, in my DMs, in my email, that I think it is fit for everyone to see because I think everyone can benefit from it. So this is my first Q&A segment and I will be doing it in videos like these. I don't think I'll have the time to do lives, maybe in the future, but for now I'll be doing videos. So let's do our formal introduction, get that out of the way and start our video. So hi for our newcomers. Hi, I'm Amanda and I provide you all with tools and resources that you need to move to Canada, life in Canada and achieving your Canadian dream. Don't forget to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button and click that bell so you never miss any of my videos. And trust me guys, I am giving you the deets, the details. I'm being very detailed over here. So share the video also with your friends and family. Share the plug. Let them come in and watch As Told by Amanda. Roll intro. Okay, so I don't know how many questions there are. I think it's about like 13, 14. I didn't count. And you'll be seeing the questions here on the screen and I will try my best to answer as detailed as possible so that the next person can answer. I think these questions I had respond to, but not everybody goes through comments to see. So I think it's beneficial if I have it up on the screen and all of that. So let's get straight in the questions. I had the questions stored on my phone. So please pardon me if you see me looking at my phone. I'm just pulling up the questions. Okay, so first questions. Did you use a loan? I'm thinking that's what it's been asked. Did you use a loan to show for proof of funds? And how long was the processing time frame? Okay, so in regards to my proof of funds, no, I did not use a loan. But if it is that you're asking me if you can use a loan, yes, you can. I mean, how you would get the loan, it is all dependent on you and your, like, how qualified you are. That's a whole nother story. But once you can get a loan, yes, you can show it as your proof of funds. You just go to the banking institution that you are banking with and you ask them for a bank statement and you use that. The second part of the question said, how long was the processing time frame? I applied before it was COVID, pre-COVID, back in 2019. And back in 2019, the processing time frame was actually 6 to 8 weeks thereabout. It took me 8 working days, and that was only because I had already done my biometrics, because I was already a valid visitor's visa holder. So the length of time wouldn't have been too lengthy because I would have already done my biometrics and I've already had that letter. So that took a lot of, or that deducted a lot of processing time for me. So it took me 8 working days. Fast forward to now, I have recently checked the black and white. When I say black and white on here, I mean the website. I check and they're saying that the processing time now in 2021 for the student visa is 35 weeks. I'm guessing what they're saying, it's up to 35 weeks. That's like 8 months. Yeah. So yeah. So my suggestion, my advice, if it is that you want to go to school next year, start from this year, like very soon, just in case. All right, next question. Okay, so Anne-Marie McWright says, thanks for the info, Amanda. I have two questions. One, is it only co-op students get work permits? I thought once you get the study visa, a 20-hour work permit goes with it. And two, what is an introduction letter and is it given to you by the college? Let me explain that. So for part one, she's asking based on what I said about the whole landing at the immigration. Good observation, Anne-Marie, good observation. Okay, so normally when you get your study permit at the border, it all depends on what is there. So let's say you're going to school, it doesn't have nothing to do with co-op or internship or anything of the sort. On the study permit, it will state that you can work. But then for me, because my studies includes internship, a paid internship, a co-op, or what you'd like to call it, I would have to get a separate work permit, because on my study permit, it will then say not valid to work. And so that's how the work permit comes in for me, that says I'm valid for work. So that should explain the difference between the two. So yes, a regular study permits, a regular person coming up to study that has no internship or no co-op to do, yes, your study permit will say you are valid to work, and yes, you can only work 20 hours a week. Please guys, do not, and I repeat, do not for the life of you try to copper work and you're working 30 hours, 25 hours, 40 hours, no, 20 hours. If found out, you will be sent right back home. Okay, the introduction letter is the fancy term to say that it's the letter you receive from the embassy when you apply for your student visa. That letter, that email that you get that says, yay, congrats, you have been approved for your study permit, da 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 da. Yeah, that's what that is. That's the letter that you print out from your email. That's what you travel with. That's the proof plus the acceptance letter that gives you your study permit at the airport border. Dana Tynes says, great video. What is the process if the accompanying spouse is applying for an open work permit? It's funny that you asked that, because I kid you not, recently I learned this process. I honestly thought this process was the same as before, but it's good that you asked this question. Now that we have COVID-19, it's a little different. So if you have your student visa and your accompanying spouse has his work permit, his open work permit, based on what I read on the website, which I'm going to put on screen right now, it is saying that he has to have a job offer, and a valid job offer, that is, and he has to have a introduction letter that is employee specific or it's open. So, the letter he would have received from the embassy to stating that, yeah, it's granted and everything, that letter, plus he has to have a valid job offer from a Canadian institution. So that means he now has to go on Indeed, Monster, Job Bank, all of these different websites that he can look for jobs, apply for them, and once he gets through with one of them, then the job letter or the job offer that he would have received from that institution, that's what he needs to take with him at the airport in order to travel with you. It's COVID, they're saying, listen, you have to have a job offer so that when your quarantine is done, after the 14 days, on the 15th day, you should be heading off to work. Yeah. Next question. Okay, so the next question is from Chanel Daly, and Chanel is asking, was it the school that set up accommodations for you guys for quarantine? Okay, the answer is no, and I'm not sure if any school is doing that really. Before this whole COVID thing, I know, for instance, my school, they would have put us up for like 2 days accommodations, and within that 2 days, they would take you to the bank to get your account set up. They'll take you to get your SIN number, stuff like that. Now it's COVID. It's sad. The most they'll do is take you to your quarantine location, but I don't know if any school is kind of having that responsibility on themselves. but I know the onus is on you to get your quarantine location. So what you can do, you can stay at home and make some phone calls for like an Airbnb, or if you have relatives here, you can probably hit them up and say, hey, can I quarantine for 14 days? Or if you have family, friends, that type of thing. But no, my school did not set up quarantine location for me. Hey Amanda, just came across your video on YouTube about Canada. Can you please inform me the best routes on moving there permanently but not to go to school? Okay, so if you don't want to come to Canada using the school route, there are absolutely many different ways of coming to Canada. Of course, some of them is kind of harder now because it's a pandemic. For instance, even with coming on a work permit, I mean, a lot of persons are being laid off, a lot of institutions are downsizing. So at this time, they wouldn't be sponsoring or looking international workers. You have the Atlantic Pilot Program, which has to do with foreign skilled workers. Again, with the pandemic and everything, things are really slow. And also you have the infamous express entry, which that is when you enter a pool, meaning you would have put together your qualifications, your age, everything into a system, and you gain points for it. So for example, if you're a certain age, meaning you're older in age, you get less points as opposed to a person who's in their 20s. If you have a kid, you get points as opposed to a person who has no kids, you know, that type of thing. But more details on these avenues will be coming soon to my channel, so stay tuned for that. All right. Also, what I can do, I can put the link below for you to even read up on it, on the Atlantic Pilot Program, also on the express entry, so that you can start reading ahead and decide, okay, I'll go with this one, or I'll go with that one. All right. Next question is from Queen Motivate. Queen says, I love your videos. Thank you, Queen. Can you share if you had applied for your study permits and visas for your family at the same time? Okay, no, I did not. Okay, so I applied for my student visa first, and after getting through, that's when I applied for my husband and my daughter. The thing is, and this is, it's up to you. You can apply for your student visa and put on your thing that, hey, I want my husband or I want my wife and kids to come with me, just as long as when it's time to prove your funds, you can prove your funds for the entire family to travel, cost of living, living expense, and all of that. But also the key thing is ensure when you put that you, your grandmother, your grandfather, and everybody is coming, you have ties to Jamaica. Because what I always like to tell people, apply alone. The best thing is to apply alone. And of course, on your form, it would have stated that you're leaving behind your daughter, your son, your husband, your wife, your girlfriend, your boyfriend. And so it creates a stronger application for me, rather than saying you're taking up everybody and then nobody's being left behind. You know, you don't have a house, there's no car, nothing is being left behind. Next question is from T and Tay TV. Did you get new updated bank statements? Since months would have passed since you provided the information when applying for the student visa out here. Or is it the same old bank statements? Please advise, Amanda. That's a really good question. Really good question. Because I want to tell you that I too was of the thought that I could use the same statement. It's after rigorous search and asking a friend of mine, I was advised that, listen, once it's 3 months old, it's outdated. So if it is that you applied for your study permit and you applied, say, in January and you didn't get through until June, and then you book your ticket for August to start school September, you need a new bank statement. The ones in January would have been long outdated. Next question is also from T and Tay TV. What's the introduction letter? Me not have that. Is this the letter of intent you would have written when applying for the student visa from JA? Also, you were so fortunate to have gotten the visitor's record for the farm. That's awesome. Did they also ask the reason for travel for you, for your daughter, or just your husband? So I cleared up the introduction letter. So the letter of intent that you refer to is called the statement of purpose or the explanation letter. That's different from the introduction letter. So I explained earlier what the introduction letter is. The letter of intent is basically, as it suggests, what are your intentions? Why are you coming to Canada to study? Why did you choose that course? Why did you choose that school? Why did you choose that province? How will it benefit you? What will it do to you in terms of progression in your career field? How will you positively impact or contribute to your country when you're back home? So the letter of intent is that is what you submit in your student visa application. No, they did not ask me the reason for my daughter travel. They won't ask that because they are minors, and technically they don't have a choice. I mean, anywhere their parents are going, they don't have a choice. They don't have a reason. The reason is I'm a minor and I just have to go where my parent is going. You understand what I'm saying? So no, they're not going to ask what is the child's purpose. They won't ask the minors. It's the adults. Next question is from Motivation for You. Hi Amanda, what if you already have a master's degree and want to do a career change? Can you apply for a different program and still get accepted for a study permit? All right, so yes, you can always do a career change. Yes, you can be accepted for your study permit. However, the key thing here, so you have your master's, which means your educational background. Let's use example. Let's say you did your master's in health, but for some reason you want to do your career change in business. Let's say your work experience is in health and you apply to do business, a business diploma. Naturally, you're going to get accepted. But then when you go for the embassy to get your when you go to the embassy to get your student visa, you get rejected. You get rejected on the basis that you have not proved to that officer that you're going to come back to Jamaica. Why? All your life you've been working in the health sector. Your educational background is in the health sector, but then you want to do business. That doesn't make any sense to them. So basically, the difference is, let's say your master's is in the health industry and your work experience, however, you're probably working in the bank as a teller, you're working in the bank as a customer service rep, you're working at Digicel as a sales rep or as a whatever, some business. Your experience is in business. You applied to do business. Naturally, when you send in that application for your study permit or your student visa, they'll see that, okay, her educational background is in health. However, this job letter that she presents to me states to me that she's in the business industry. And so I would understand as to why she wants to switch and do business. Definitely, it's a go. So you can change, but be mindful. What I'm saying, once you are going to change your career, ensure it matches back either to your education background or your work experience, please. All right. Janelle J. Hi, Amanda. Thanks for bringing us this wholesome content. Thank you. Will you make a video about the course you chose for school and your student visa process? Well, I guess I saw this a little tad bit late, but I did my student visa process. It showed on Monday. You can go and check that out. And also a video about the course I chose. I did, or I am doing. Oof, Jesus. I am doing hospitality and tourism operations management. That's what I'm doing. And yeah, Asia Costantino. Hi, Amanda. How long is the process with the applications for you and your husband and your daughter? As it relates to my husband and my daughter, their application, well, because my husband at the time, it was his first time. So he did not have a biometrics done. So he had to do a biometrics. And because I applied with, well, because I put them together, it wasn't separate. So the application took, I think, 3 weeks max, excluding weekends. Okay, so this question is from Instagram in my DM, and I thought, you know, we can all benefit from it. How did you apply student visa with your family, as that has high refusal rates based on ties to country? So basically, I think what they're trying to ask me, how is it that I applied for my student visa and attached my family in the application, with the fact that doing that way, it's probable to be rejected. I did not apply for my student visa with my family. I did it separate. I did my student visa and then I did their visitor's visa separate. So that's one. 2, high refusal rate. I don't think you should brand them as a high refusal rate. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, when you're being rejected or refused, they literally put why you're being refused, which then gives you an idea for you to fix it and reapply, and then you get accepted. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't say that. I would say just follow exactly what they say and you will be fine. All right. Next question is from Mr. Dwayne Mitchell. He said, what was your husband's response to his purpose of travel? So my husband's response was that he is temporarily relocating to support his wife. Full stop. So yes, Dwayne, you can use that. Next question is from Blurface X. What if your admission was deferred to May, but you want to go to Canada from February? Would you still be allowed to enter? Because that's what I want to do. All right. Blurface, if you defer to May, so you're starting May, before COVID, and I answered you already, but this is for the general public so that they understand too. Before COVID, you are allowed entry into the country at least a month before your intake starts or before school starts. Rarely they'll allow you to come in before, like 2 months before or so. So can you just imagine now with COVID negative? As I told you and I explained, do not chance it, please. When you go to the airport, big February, and you're supposed to start school in May, that is not deemed essential in their eyes. They're like, listen, you're coming like 2 months before, like, no. So please travel in April. Please travel in April. 2 questions left. So the second to last question is that Instagram question. Hi Amanda, 2 questions. How did your husband come with you? Is it that both of you are going to school? And did you use an agency to process your papers? Okay, so let me answer the latter first. No, I didn't use an agency. I did it all by myself with the assistance of a friend of mine. In terms of agency, when I initially started, I went to an agency, that's what they are called, a consultant. And I basically gathered all the information, and that's what I used and did it by myself with the help of a friend, right? No, my husband is not attending school. I'm the only one that will be going to school. And how did he get to come with me? Basically, as an international student, your family can be here with you in the duration of your studies. So yes, they're kind enough to allow your family to be here once they have their papers, meaning once they have their visa. And the last question is, so can us, and this is from the Foxay, so can a spouse work on a visitor's record if the other spouse is in school? No. No, no, no. So the visitor's record is just for that person to have a status in the country. Meaning, you know, after the 6 months have passed and you're on a visitor's visa, your time would have been expired. You would have been overstaying, what we call runoff. But because they have a visitor's record, the visitor's record allows them to stay beyond that period for the duration of the person's or their spouse study. So after the 6 months, they are not illegal. They're very straight. They have reason to be here, that type of thing. But it is not in no way, shape, or form a work permit. So you still have to apply for your work permit. Okay, everyone, that's it. That's the end of this video. Woo! A lot of questions, but I know that it should be clearer to some people who thought of it, who didn't even think of it, and like, wow, good question. I am so happy to be able to present to you information while I can. And please don't forget to check the box down below. I have put some links down there that is very, very helpful for you guys can read and try to understand this process even more. Thank you so much. Check my back a couple weeks from now, every last Saturdays, where I come here to answer your questions that you are unclear about. See you next week Monday, and if you haven't, go and watch my video I posted yesterday, my burrata video of my lemon butter garlic shrimp. Lovely, lovely dinner. You don't want to miss it. Go and check it out. See you guys a couple Saturdays from now, but see you guys on Monday. Bye.